Good morning everyone, welcome back to Slick's Car Care, and this week we have this Bentley Continental in for a super ultra mega detail. I'm going to run you through the full job as soon as the car's pulled inside and done some of the prep, but some of the other bits that we're going to be doing in the prep stages are including cleaning the soft top, going to remove the lower grills, and also deep clean the arches in preparation for the other processes that we've got to do. So let's get straight into an epic montage of our wash process and get it pulled in. Okay, so the Bentley is now pulled inside, and straight away we took the wheels straight off it, because I'm not going to start with the polishing. We've got some dirty work to do on this car, but obviously already we've cleaned it, decontaminated it, deep cleaned all of the arches and the soft top, we've sanded the headlights, cleaned the engine bay, cleaned out the door shuts, we've done quite a lot. But before I start with any more work, the next thing is the calipers, so let's take a look at them. So as you can see, these calipers are looking a little bit worse for wear. You've got kind of the corrosion causing the paint to flake off, the Bentley emblem's looking terrible. So what we're going to do with this is remove this emblem, try and get that looking back good. We're going to repaint the calipers in matte black and also paint the brake centres in silver too. So I want to do that before I look at tackling the rest of the car, because we don't want to get overspray or dust from this process all over the paintwork after we've polished it. So this is the first job. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and as I stated previously, we've got this Bentley Continental in for a complete overhaul, so make sure you stay tuned to catch the transformation. This is a longer video and I do apologise, but it was impossible with a week's worth of footage to make it any shorter, so do make sure you stick around to the end to see that final result. So once we had prepped the centres of the discs and the calipers, all we did was mask off the face of the disc slightly and the pad, and just give the centres a spray. Weren't too concerned about getting a bit of spray on the calipers as they were getting painted anyway. So once the centres were sprayed, we masked off the disc and then we sprayed the caliper as well, covering up the overspray caused from the previous step. So I wanted to get any spraying out of the way before we started the polishing stages on this car. So then once we had painted the calipers, we then spray coated the engine bay with Ceramic Pro Strong, which dresses all of the plastics and adds a good layer of protection, making it super easy to maintain. And then turned our attention to the wheel arches, which we cleaned in the prep stages, and sprayed these and all of the surrounding parts as well with Ceramic Pro Strong also. So once all of the spraying was complete, I wanted to finish off the decontamination stages. So there's some residue still left from the number plate stickers, which we soak cotton pads in tar and glue remover and just leave these on to work their magic, and it'll easily wipe off within 10 minutes or so. Then it was onto the claying stages to remove any overspray and any other contaminants which were still stuck to the paintwork. As you can see, it wasn't too bad, but it definitely did need a good go over. So once that was done, it was time for the polishing to commence. Okay, so now we are finally ready to start the polishing. I've done a couple of test patches already, but obviously I don't know how well it's going to come across or how it's going to come across on the video, but we're now halfway through the second day, so it's took 16 hours, 16 man hours yesterday, and 4 hours of just myself today, so we're already 20 hours into this detail in the underbody, the soft top, the engine bay, and all these sorts of areas that you've seen already. So now we can actually crack on with the polishing and really make a difference to the result of this paintwork, but I am very, very sure this is going to look stunning when it's done. So let's take a look around it now. I've already spotted a few interesting bits that you'd probably like to see, so stay tuned. So I wanted to try and keep this as brief as possible, but you can see in these clips that the car is covered in varying forms of defects, from water spots, deep scratches, holograms, general swirls, and poor repairs and blends. So there's plenty of stuff to get through. But as I was saying in the next clip, we have already made a start on the polishing here, which is shown in this clip. So you can see in the first half of it, this is the before of the paintwork on the bonnet, going into the after on the cutting stages, and you can see there's going to be a big difference made. So as you can see, the paintwork's not in amazing condition. As to be expected, it is an old car. I'm not 100% sure on the age, but I think it's between an 04 and an 06. And there has been some previous repairs which aren't of amazing quality, but there is some areas which we can hugely improve as well. And as you've already seen on the bonnet, we've done a test spot or a few test patches, and because we're aiming for as near to complete correction as we can get in the time that we've got, the thing that we found come closest to removing almost all of the defects is this Lake Country long wool pad and Cartec 3000. So this, even though it is leaving some marring behind, I don't know what's going on with this camera. Even though this is leaving some marring behind, it is definitely ripping through the defects quite nicely, and we've obviously got the scope and the time to do a second and possibly even a third stage of polishing if necessary. And obviously the paintwork is going to vary from panel to panel, so we're going to keep monitoring this too. But I'm going to get the bonnet cut now and see how much I can get done by the end of the day. Okay, so time for a quick progress update on the Bentley. The cutting is now complete. The wheel arches have been deep cleaned and protected. I'm now getting a phone call, so 1 second. Hello, Slicks Car Care. Sorry about that. So yeah, the wheel arches have been deep cleaned and protected. The brake hubs have been painted. The brake calipers have been painted. The soft top has been deep cleaned. The engine bay has been deep cleaned and coated. So now I'm going to start turning my attention towards the refining process and aiming to get this done today, along with starting some of the intricate details which are going to finish off the detail. So the first thing that I need to do before I can start that next stage of polishing is give the car a good thorough blow off and get the panels as clean as I can. I'll give it a panel wipe then, just to make sure that the surface is perfectly clean, so there's going to be no contamination on the paintwork which could interfere with the refining stage. So that's the next step. Let's get on with it.
I just wanna make you I just wanna make you.
Okay, so this one's going to be quite hard to pick up on camera, but I can see on the screen, so that means that you can see. This is the non-refined area, so this area of the car has only been cut and panel wiped, and you can see there is like a blooming and some kind of like lines, and the clarity of the paint ain't 100%. So let's move over to this side of the bonnet. You can see this is the side that I've just refined, and it's looking much crisper. You know, there's no lines, no hazing, nothing like that coming off the reflection of the light. So that is what we're aiming for across the entire car, so let's get it done. So this car was actually very enjoyable to refine. We were able to use a much softer pad, which means that it adapts to the contours of the panels much better than a cutting pad, which makes it a lot easier to do. So we had around, I don't know, 16 to 20 hours of cutting in this car and around 4 hours in the refining stages, and it really just unlocks that final gloss and the final finish from the paintwork. And for those of you interested, we tried a few things here. So I tried a few things. So we're using the Roops white foam finishing pad with the Scholl Concepts E2000 medium cut. This is quite a gentle medium cut and quite oily as well, so it is closer to kind of a more aggressive finishing polish. Okay, so the refining is more or less complete on the Bentley. I've got the front bumper to do and the bottoms of the sides getting some little 1-inch intricacy work, but you know, it won't take too long. But before I finish off on that, there's one thing that was bugging me when I viewed the car, and it's been bugging me ever since. I've been trying to think of the best way to sort it, and it's the grille. So take a quick look at that now. You can see it's just looking a bit lackluster and dull and a bit well, rubbish really. So this is like one of the key focal points on the front of the car, and I think this would look $1 million all polished up. But like I said, I've been trying to think of the best way to do this. I don't want to be getting in there with my finger, because one, my finger hardly fits, especially when you put a cloth around it. So that's going to be super time consuming and probably painful. And I don't want to be going in there with like a little cotton bud or something, because look how many gaps there are. But I think I've got the perfect tool for the job, which I bought years ago. So this is what I'm going to attempt to use as a Dremel, which is essentially just like a high-speed rotary. I'm not going to be using it that fast. I don't think it needs it. It's got a little polishing attachment that came with it, and I bought this years ago with the intention of getting an attachment to make it, you know, more capable to polish intricate areas like behind door handles, but it just spins too fast for polishing paintwork. But I think it will do just the trick on these grills, so let's give it a go. Now this was possibly the least enjoyable but the most rewarding part of this car. It completely transformed the face of it. I don't think the video actually does it justice how much of a difference this made. This is going to take forever. Wish me luck. So at this point we had the refining completed and we were starting on some of the intricate details. So we removed those lower grills at the start of the video. Once we'd gone around them to remove any built up dirt and also, I don't know what you'd call it, but kind of, juice from the wet sanding of the repairs that had been done previously, they were looking much better, and we were able to go around areas like around these parking sensors and just tidy all these finite little details up, which again, as I said, just unlock that superb final finish and make the car look almost as good as the day it came out of the factory. Okay, so the Bentley is now starting to take shape. We have got all of the polishing done, we've started on the cleanup, the brakes are painted, the hubs are painted, the wheel arches are cleaned and coated, the engine bay is coated. So now it's time to finish off on the paintwork, I think, and get those coatings on. It's now the start of Friday, so this is the 5th day on the car, and we're probably about 55 hours work on the car at the moment, so it's turned out to be quite a long job, but there's a lot of work that's been done on it. So let's get the car blown off for the final time, get it panel wiped, and get those 3 layers of 9H on that paintwork to get it protected in preparation for top coat at the end of the day. Let's go! I think you know what's coming here. Something about trusting me because I'm a doctor. I don't think I have to say it. So now we are ready for the coatings to be applied to the paintwork. This one was having 3 layers of Ceramic Pro 9H, which, as I'm sure you've seen before if you're a regular on this channel, we apply using the microfiber applicator and just rubbing it over the car, building up those layers and then removing finally with the microfiber cloth, and then a final check over in the dark to make sure the paintwork is looking pristine. Now I'll let you into a little secret. We did not coat the side skirts or the the lower sills on this car with Ceramic Pro 9H. We actually used wheel and caliper. Because this is a coating you can apply and it self-levels, it will fill in the road rash and the minor chips in the lacquer on these lower sections and give a much better finish. So once it was all complete, we're then able to start reassembling the car. So the grills go back in, chuck the wheels back on, then we can get it back down on the floor and give it that final check over. So the next step was applying the waterproofer to the roof. This is dead simple, just painting it on with a brush and leaving it to cure. We actually do 2 coats of this and allow that to cure for about 24 hours before letting the car out. So the final stage of the detail is layering on the Ceramic Pro top coats. We'll spray this on with a single layer and just buff off, check it over in the dark after every panel to make sure we've got that perfect smear-free finish, and then it's onto the glass on the inside and the outside of the car, and then the detail is complete. So I'm going to sign out here anyway. Thank you very much for watching. I'll check back in with you at the end of the video. We will see you next week. Okay, so the Bentley is almost complete, but it's been a long week. It's been a really, really long week of hard graft. And just as I was coming to the end, I was kind of starting to relax a little bit. You know, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was ready to start packing up, and we finish off with the glass. Now, I've already coated the glass, so the exterior is done. Now, the interior of the windscreen, I just couldn't seem to quite get right. Let me show you quick. I hope you can see this, but I've cleaned the inside of the windscreen twice. There we go, down here. And the outside of the windscreen twice as well, and decontaminated the exterior of the windscreen. So I know that it's not that smooth as anything. So then after cleaning the inside of the windscreen twice over, I then proceeded to feel it, and it turns out the inside of the windscreen is covered in overspray. How you get that there, I have no idea. It's not on the rest of the glass, luckily, so it is just that I've got to deal with, but it is a very annoying situation because I obviously can't let that go out the door like that, but yeah, let's deal with that. And there we go, the Bentley, as far as you guys are concerned, is now done. I've actually got another coat of waterproof to do on the soft top, which I'm going to do tomorrow, which is Saturday. And I've got to put the number plates on and take the outro shots for the end of this video. But I can safely say this job has absolutely ruined me. My back's broken, I'm so tired, and I'm working this weekend too, which is going to be fun. So it's absolutely coming off, but the results are 100% worth it. Now I can see it done. The difference in between now and when it got here is just unreal. I'm so happy with the result, and I'm sure the customer's going to be when he picks it up too. So yeah, like I said, let's get these outro clips filmed. I'll see you later, Sunday at 6 PM next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll catch you then. Peace!